Hi everyone, I'm Jennifer from English with Jennifer. Do you know what this is? It's an audio cassette. Back when I was in middle school and high school, I had tons of cassettes. And almost every kid back then had a boom box. That's how we listened to music, at home or outside. And actually, if we go way back to my early childhood, I remember my record collection. When I listened to audiobooks, the book would come with a record. You had to put it on a record player. It's fun to look back and remember old technology and old trends. These days, I'm trying to be optimistic about growing older, and I realize that the additional years give me more perspective. It's like stepping back and seeing how the pieces of the puzzle come together. Whether you're younger, older, or about the same age as me, we can all look at the past and talk about it. In this lesson, let's look at ways we use the word back to refer to the past. In informal conversation, we can use back to mean ago. A few years back, my family took a trip to Hawaii. A while back, we drove to New Hampshire and visited Mount Washington. Don't use back with recent events. For example, I saw Maria a second ago. I just had lunch an hour ago, so I'm not hungry. Back is more informal and more conversational than ago. If you have any doubts, use ago. Earlier, I told you that I had tons of cassettes back when I was in high school. I don't have to use the word back in this sentence. It's something I added in. It's a pattern we use in conversation. We can use back when to recall a distant period in time. Back when there was no caller ID, we had to say, "May I ask who's calling?" or "Who is this, please?" Back when there were no phones, people relied on telegrams. Did you ever send a telegram? A variation is way back when. We can use this as a standalone phrase or like a noun phrase. Way back when, we used to get a TV guide in the local newspaper to find out what would be on TV every day. Of course, today you just turn on the TV and the menu or the guide is on the screen. Do you know what this is? It's a Victrola. It's a phonograph or a record player from way back when. It may be over 100 years old. This was in our family home when we were kids, and one of my brothers inherited it. Way back is used for emphasis to refer to something that happened a long time ago. Way back in the 1950s, Americans had milk delivered to their homes. And actually, milkmen continued to deliver milk past the 1950s. I have memories of the milk box near our front door way back when I was a little girl. Way is also used for emphasis in go way back, which we use to talk about a long relationship. My friend Cherie and I go way back. We first met in 6th grade at a special tournament, and then we went to high school together. A variation is, my friend Cherie and I go back a long way. Okay, let's pause and practice. Complete these sentences with your own ideas. You can share your examples in the comments. Do you ever feel nostalgic? That's how we feel when we look at the past and wish we could experience certain things again. Sometimes we feel nostalgic about our childhood. We can also romanticize the past, forgetting about the hardships and imagining only the good things. Back in the day, ladies wore pretty dresses and men wore stylish hats and suits. Don't you wish people dressed more nicely today? Well, actually, no. I think it's very comfortable to wear jeans and sneakers every day, like I do. So back in the day refers to a distant time period. It could be in someone's lifetime, but then that would be more typical of an older person talking about their youth. For example, my 93-year-old cousin Gina could talk about life back in the day. She could tell us about the music they listened to, the clothes they wore, and the kinds of things they'd find in the local stores. Back in the day is often used with pleasant memories or recollections, but it could also be used to mention hardships. Back in the day, women were expected to wear hoops under their skirts and corsets under their dresses, all kinds of uncomfortable and restrictive clothing. Can you imagine? Back is used in a number of phrasal verbs to refer to a past time. I already gave you the example of my friend and I going way back, meaning we've known each other for a long time. When you look back, you remember the past and consider it. You can look back on something. You can look back at something. Look back on your past mistakes, for example. When you think back to a time, you recall and reflect. When Adam thinks back to his 20s, he wishes he had made better choices. A song can take you back to a pleasant time. 1980 songs take me back to my youth. And if you show me a book I loved as a child, I might comment, "Ah, that story takes me back," meaning it makes me remember my childhood in a good way, fondly.
Let's review the ways we use back to refer to the past. Back when I was in high school. Almost every kid had a boombox back then. A few years back. A while back. Way back when. Way back in the 1950s. Back in the day. And the phrasal verbs go way back or go back a long way. You can look back on something or look back at something. You can think back or think back to a certain time. Something can take you back. It can take you back to a certain time.
It's time for more practice. Look at these items. Try to create an example with back to refer to the past. Seeing Michael Jackson takes me back to a time when everyone, including me, tried to moonwalk. We'll end here. Please like and share the video if you found the lesson useful. As always, thanks for watching and happy studies.
I'd like to take a moment and say thank you to all of my kind-hearted patrons on Patreon. Your pledge of $2 a month is very sweet, and your support is appreciated. I invite high intermediate and advanced students to join me on Patreon. As a valuable member, you can attend the monthly live stream. As a super member, get the live stream and additional group lessons with follow-up practice tasks. Members at the higher tiers can benefit from a monthly one-on-one video call. Visit me today, English with Jennifer on Patreon. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And don't forget to subscribe. Turn on those notifications.